Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Ananya Banerjee from Swami Vivekananda Institute of Modern Science. My today's topic is AFLP, that is Amplified Fragment Length Polymorphism. Before starting this video, one must know what are markers. Markers are the tools which are used to distinguish DNA, individual, population or species. The basic detail of marker is provided in my RAPT video. I will share the link of it in the description box. Now, before jumping into the detail of AFLP marker, one must know that molecular markers are broadly classified into two categories. One is restriction based, example of which is RFLP, and the other is PCR amplification based, example of which is RAPT. Now AFLP, that is Amplified Fragment Length Polymorphism, is a combination of RFLP and RAPT technique. That is, it requires both restriction enzyme treatment as well as PCR in order to identify any polymorphism present in a DNA of a population. So AFLP or Amplified Fragment Length Polymorphism is a PCR-based technique that selectively amplifies the subset of restriction fragments from a complex mixture of DNA fragments obtained after the digestion of genomic DNA with restriction endonucleases, which is used to generate and compare the unique fingerprint of genomes of interest. AFLP was first developed for plant studies by Voss and Xavier in 1993, which is now used for a wide variety of genetic analysis application. The process of AFLP is divided into 4 steps, that is digestion, adapter ligation, amplification and electrophoresis. In this slide, we can see the pictorial representation of AFLP process, which includes digestion of total cellular DNA with one or more restriction enzymes and then ligation of restriction half site specific adapters to all restriction fragments, then selective amplification of some of these fragments with 2 PCR primers that have corresponding adapters and restriction site specific sequences, and lastly electrophoretic separation of amplicons on a gel matrix followed by visualization of the band pattern. Now let us discuss each and every steps in detail. At first, DNA is extracted from the sample. Then restriction fragments of the extracted DNA are produced by using 2 different restriction enzymes, a frequent cutter, which is a 4-base restriction enzyme MSE1, and a rare cutter, which is a 6-base restriction enzyme EcoR1. The frequent cutters are the restriction enzyme which generate small fragments. These fragments amplify well and have the optimal size range for separation on a sequence gel, whereas the rare cutters limit the number of fragments to be amplified. The restriction enzyme treatment will leave either blunt or sticky ends depending upon the specific enzyme which we have used. Double-stranded adapters consisting of a core sequence and an enzyme-specific sequence will then be added in the reaction. Therefore, adapters specific for EcoR1 site and adapters specific for MSE1 site will bind to the specific restriction endonuclease treated fragments. Usually, restriction and ligation take place in a single reaction. Ligation of the adapters to the restricted DNA will alter the restriction site, which will prevent it from a second restriction taking place after ligation has occurred. The core sequence of the adapters consists of a known DNA sequence of 20 nucleotides, which will be used as primer in the PCR. Now, what are adapters and linkers? An adapter or a linker is a short, chemically synthesized single-stranded or double-stranded oligonucleotide that can be ligated to the ends of other DNA or RNA molecules which are used in genetic engineering. Double-stranded adapters can be synthesized to have blunt ends to both terminals or to have sticky end at one end and blunt end at the other. It can be used to link the ends of two other DNA molecules, that is, ends that do not have sticky ends can be ligated with the help of adapters. It may be used to add sticky ends to cDNA, allowing it to be ligated into the plasmid much more efficiently. Two adapters could base pair to each other to form dimers. So, when an adapter participates in a reaction, the phosphate group present in the 3' end is removed by treatment with alkaline phosphatase in a process known as dephosphorylation, which will inactivate the self-ligation of two adapters. This process is known as self-binding inactivation. Whereas linkers are synthetic oligonucleotide sequences that are blunt at two ends, they contain one or more restriction sites for cleavage by restriction enzymes. Linkers do not form dimers. Now let us discuss the next step of AFLP, which is amplification. In the first step of PCR amplification of AFLP, the adapters are used as primers. This step is known as pre-amplification, which allows a fast selection of fragments by only amplifying the DNA restriction fragments that have ligated and adapters to both ends. For the second amplification, 3 more nucleotides are added at the 3' end of the primer sequence. These additional nucleotides make the amplification more selective and will decrease the number of restriction fragments amplified. One of the primers, usually the EcoR1 primer, is labeled with a fluorescent dye in order to visualize the DNA during the migration process. Finally, the PCR products are denatured and run on acrylamide gel. Normally, 30 to 100 DNA bands can be detected by AFLP on polyacrylamide gel. The advantages of AFLP analysis include the ability to use a universal protocol in combination with different restriction endonucleases and the choice of adding one or more selective nucleotides in the PCR primer to achieve optimal results relatively quickly without prior knowledge of DNA sequences from a large variety of microorganisms. The method also has the potential for high throughput and local electronic database pattern storage with relatively low cost. It has high reproducibility and can replace RFLP in fingerprinting technique. Disadvantages include the need for purified, high molecular weight DNA, the dominance of alleles, and the possible non-homology of co-migrating fragments belonging to different loci. Application of AFLP. AFLP has become widely used for the identification of genetic variation in strains or closely related species of plants, fungi, animals, and bacteria. The AFLP technology has been used in criminal and paternity tests, also to determine slight differences with populations, and in linkage studies to generate maps for quantitative trait locus or QTL analysis. Phylogenetic studies of closely related species can be done by using AFLP. AFLP markers have successfully been used for analyzing genetic diversity in some other plant species such as peanut. This technique is useful for breeders to accelerate plant improvement. AFLP markers are useful in genetic studies such as biodiversity evaluation, analysis of germplasm collection, genotyping of individuals, and genetic disease analysis. Thank you. If you like my video, do like and subscribe.